the best Aikidoists strive to defeat their own imaginations. In Japanese, the word for imagination is kaso. Interestingly, kaso can also mean potential enemy. The direct translation of kaso is ka, or temporary, and so means thought. With understanding, one can think that our temporary thoughts can be our potential enemies. Thinking about this, our minds, or the way we think, can be holding us back. Maybe that is why author David Foster Wallace said, "Your mind is an excellent servant, but a terrible master." When we think about Wallace's quote, it is easy then to understand Sensei's assertion that the true victory is self-victory, or masakatsu agatsu. The enemy Sensei could be alluding to is our rampant imaginations. Our imaginations and the stories that we tell ourselves can either help us or hold us back, and the real battle rages on. At every moment, we are telling ourselves a story. Most times, those stories are not positive. Usually, the story consists of why we aren't good enough, able enough, or some other old saw as to why we should stop what we are doing or give up what it is we want. In Japanese, to get wrong ideas by letting one's imagination run wild is referred to as ki wo mawasu, or our ki goes round and round. Ki wo mawasu also means groundless suspicion. When we read too much into things or listen to other people's opinions, we become ungrounded, and we run the risk of letting the stories that we tell ourselves take over our lives. In Aikido, when this happens, we say that person has lost their center. Most times, the stories or our imaginations are not grounded in reality and exist only in our minds. Therefore, the counter to the stories in our heads is to get out of our minds and into our bodies. We need to retake our own center or ground ourselves. Aikido training is completely grounded in reality. From learning to ground our bodies and use our centers in the warm-up, to negotiating attacks from our partners, none of those things can be done in our heads. The moment we go into our heads and listen to our imaginations, we lose our center or just get hit. In Aikido, students have to be 100% mindful at all times. Being mindful means being aware of one's self and one's actions in the present moment. We cannot be here when our minds are there and thinking about the past or worrying about the future. Maybe that's what Takuan Soho, who advised the prolific swordsman Miyamoto Musashi, meant when he said, "Sever the edge between before and after." In Aikido, when we have lost our center, we have lost our grasp of the present. The antidote to the story in our heads is to ground ourselves in reality. We can use many of the exercises from the warm-up to ground or training itself. We can also take a paper and pen inventory of what is true and use it to dissolve the stories that our imagination has created for us. The power of imagination, or sozo ryoku, can help us or hurt us. It is completely true that our minds are horrible masters, but wonderful servants. The truest victory might just be taking back the mastership of our minds. None of us are immune to this phenomenon. It's just something that we must constantly manage. That is why the best Aikidoists strive to defeat their own imaginations. Today's goal: get out of your head and get back into your body. It is the only thing which you can know is real.